That morning when she tried to claim my home, I was sitting on the porch, gently rocking in my chair, nursing a cup of black coffee, and watching the autumn leaves drift lazily to the ground. My body ached, yes, but it was nothing compared to the sting in my heart. A man can endure age, fatigue, even solitude, but betrayal? That's a wound that cuts deeper than any blade. My name is George Whitman. I'm 72, retired from carpentry, a widower, and until recently the proud owner of the Whitman estate, a house I built with my own hands half a century ago. Every plank, every nail, every groaning floorboard carries my sweat, my laughter, and my late wife Margaret's love. But my daughter-in-law, Claire, saw only dollar signs. It all began a few months after Margaret passed. My son David had married Claire, a woman whose charm masked a hunger I couldn't read. At first she was attentive, bringing tea, checking on my health, but soon her concern felt rehearsed, like a play she had memorized. One evening while I tightened a loose stair railing, I overheard them whispering in the kitchen. "Dad isn't getting any younger," Claire said, her tone soft but sharp. "We'll have to wait," David replied. "That house is worth nearly $900,000, David," she whispered. "We could sell it, clear the mortgage, and move closer to the city." I froze. My screwdriver slipped and clattered to the floor. That was all I needed to hear. That night, I lay awake as the wind rattled the window, and Margaret's voice seemed to drift through the drafts. "Protect what we built, George." A week later, Claire arrived with a neat folder. "Dad," she said sweetly, "David and I thought it might be helpful if we handled your affairs. You're older now, we just don't want you worrying about taxes or bills." I smiled politely, taking the papers. She slid them closer. "Just sign here," she said. "It gives us power of attorney so we can take care of things if you ever, can't." Her eyes sparkled, convinced I'd be fooled. I pretended to read carefully through my glasses and even nodded. "I'll look them over tonight," I said. That night I didn't read. I called Walter, an old lawyer friend who had helped me draft my will decades ago. When he examined the documents, his voice dropped. "George, if you sign this, you'll give them ownership of your house. Everything you built, gone." Rage coursed through me, not fear but fury. I had raised my son better than this, or so I thought. The next morning, I put on the act of the harmless old man. Over breakfast I smiled at Claire. "These papers seem sensible," I said. Her face lit up. "Really? That's wonderful, Dad," she beamed. I stirred my coffee slowly. "Before I sign, why don't you and David take that trip you've been talking about?" "My treat." Her eyes widened. "Really?" "Yes, go relax. You both deserve it." Unaware of my plan, they left for the weekend. While they were gone, I met Walter and my notary. Together, we transferred the house into a living trust, legally untouchable. I also revised my will, leaving the estate not to David, but to the local children's shelter where Margaret had spent years volunteering. By the time Claire returned, expecting triumph, I had already ensured she would not set foot in the house as its owner. She confronted me in the living room, waving the papers. "Dad, you still haven't signed." I leaned back in my chair. "All those?" I spoke with my lawyer. "Everything's already secured." Her face turned ghostly pale. "What do you mean, secured?" I fixed her with a calm stare. "You won't be taking this house. Not now, not ever." David entered then, bewildered. "What's happening?" "Your wife tried to steal the house from me," I said evenly. "But I've made sure she can't." David's jaw dropped. "Claire, is this true?" "I was just helping," she stammered. "Helping yourself, perhaps," I said softly. Things changed after that. David kept his distance at first, ashamed I suppose, but he came to understand. Claire's ambition had ruined her own marriage, leaving her bitter and empty-handed. And me? I stayed in my chair, watching the sunset spill across the porch I built with Margaret. Months later, David returned with his little boy, Sam. He embraced me. "I'm sorry, Dad," he said. I smiled. "You're forgiven. Just promise me something. Never let greed blind you to what really matters." Sam darted across the porch, laughing, chasing a red ball. For the first time in months, the old house felt alive. I looked at Margaret's portrait and whispered, "It's safe now, love. Everything is safe." That night, as moonlight washed the room, I rocked gently, grateful for patience, wisdom, and the knowledge that some things, love, memory, and home, cannot be taken.